Hail and welcome to Rauta. This time we go to international waters with the band in question today, Aran Angmar, another black metal band taking the name from Tolkien's books. Ordo Diabolicum is the new album by this very band, and it sounds like Greek black metal is ought to be sounding, or how to say, signature sound from Greece. Now this is obviously partially true because of the band's nature. This is partially Greek, even though it is indeed coming from international waters. Released by Soulseller Records, this one is very fresh from this spring of 2025. And let's tune for the background for the band. Meanwhile, I'll guide you through. So here it says, originally started in Greece/Netherlands and later on relocated to Greece, Netherlands and Italy. So indeed, quite an international band. And despite of its young age, 2020 and onwards, the band has already 3 albums out. So they have been very active throughout the years, releasing album every 2 years. Much like back in the good days when all the black metal bands were releasing stuff very much like a machine. These days it's different, so one has to give a little bit of credit for these guys, being active and still maintaining the quality, something that is not always present when we're talking about creating new music, staying on the road and all that stuff. Now, I have heard only one album by this band before, so there's not much I can really compare these to while talking about this given band. So let's focus on the new album of 42 minutes, give or take, with 8 tracks. Quite classic in that sense, nothing too much, nothing too little, but just a kind of a basic stuff. Now, musically, this is more like melodic black metal gone fast. But not like your Marduk kind of fast blasting, not enthroned or anything like that, but more like maintaining the speed but able to slow down too. And it is essential because it actually gives this album more nature in the sense of, being versatile. It's not just one trick pony, and that's important to understand when we're talking about this given album. Now, there are lots of melodies, which put this more into the box of easy to approach, entry-level black metal in so many ways, while at the same time sounding like true black metal. I mean, we're not talking about some bands that incorporate blackened ideas into the music, but actual black metal release, but more maybe on the softer side, while still maintaining the speed and atmosphere. Talking of which, I guess it's kind of safe to say that this indeed does have some strong Greece connection. That is, some of these riffs are really like the trademark thing, like the signature style I was describing. I mean, when you're listening to this, you might instantaneously think about names like Rotting Christ, or modern names like Lucifer's Child, or Rauta, etc. So there is this kind of style that is very, very much present here. And obviously for Greek black metal fans, this is a blessing. But because of its nature not being fully Greek, but also other international natures in the countries, that is probably where this gets these other ideas. So Greek, sure, but only maybe 70% or so, roughly, give or take. Sound-wise, this is pretty much like the basic standard of today's. So not exactly rough, grim, raw, or anything like that, but not super polished, which I think is very, very fitting for this kind of stuff. This is more, of course, the kind of a clean and nice, powerful sounding stuff with the melodies and atmosphere rather than very grim or ultra raw. There is one thing I am a little bit peculiar about, and that is the vocal works, because that's not really the kind of a strong and raspy, nor high and shrieky, pitchy kind of thing, but more like a little bit muffled ways to execute those vocals. It's almost like they're like holding back a little bit, or maybe not just wanted to go with this raw random feeling. I'm a little bit on the fence with these given vocals. In a way, they could be a lot more powerful and hateful, but maybe it actually goes better hand in hand with the rather softer and melodic output what this has to offer. But I think it will be one of those things people are going to say it's a deal breaker. I'm not saying they are bad, but they are not really your typical black metal vocals, so it can go either way, really. All in all, I would say Ordo Diabolicum is pretty good of an album. It's not in among my favorite albums of year 2025, but still on the good side of things. So give it a go if you have a soft spot for Greek black metal, or melodic black metal for that matter. Links are included in the description box. Go and enjoy.